Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive where we like to really get into the details of things.
That's right. No skimming the surface here.
Exactly. We want to, get to the heart of what matters.
Absolutely.
And today, you guys sent in this article
Yeah.
from Forbes. iOS 18.2 update now warning issued to all iPhone users.
Catchy title.
Very catchy. And it definitely seems like Apple, they want us to update like right now.
No question. They're not messing around with this one.
So let's dive in and figure out what's going on. Like why is this update such a big deal?
Well, I think the first thing that jumps out from the article is just the sheer number of security updates they've packed into this release.
Oh yeah.
21.
21
One security update.
That's a lot.
It's a big number.
Okay, so 21 security updates. What kind of vulnerabilities are we talking about here?
We're talking about serious stuff,
Yeah.
potentially. Things that could allow an attacker to, take control of your device, access your personal data, all sorts of nasty things that you don't even want to think about.
Right. Yeah, definitely don't want that. Okay, so that kind of explains the urgency.
Right.
But besides the number, I mean, 21 is a big number, but is there anything else that's driving this kind of almost panicked update now message?
Yeah, actually, there's another big change here, and it's a bit of a departure from how Apple has handled updates in the past.
Okay.
With iOS 18.2, they're ending support for iOS 17 completely.
So even if you can run it, you're not going to get those security updates.
That's right. If your device is compatible with 18.2, it's 18.2 or nothing. No more security updates for 17.
So it's like update or risk it.
Pretty much.
I get the security angle, but what about people who, for whatever reason, they like to stick with the older operating system?
Well, yeah, it's definitely a more assertive approach, you could say. I think Apple's rationale here is that, look, in today's world, the threat landscape is constantly evolving. And to stay protected, you need to be on the most up-to-date software.
So no exceptions. No exceptions.
Okay, well, let's get into the weeds a little bit here.
Yeah.
You mentioned, I think you used the word kernel earlier.
Yeah.
Can you remind me what the kernel is and why it's so important?
Sure. So the kernel it's basically the core of your iPhone's operating system.
Okay.
It's, think of it like the brain or the heart. It controls all the essential functions.
Got it.
So a flaw in the kernel, that's a big deal. That can make your whole system unstable.
So how serious could these kernel flaws be that they're fixing?
Well, imagine your phone just constantly crashing. Apps freezing up,
Oh, that's
data getting corrupted.
I've been there.
That's one possibility. There's a specific flaw mentioned in the article, CVE 2024-44245, that could have led to that kind of instability.
Right.
And then there's another one that's even scarier, the libexpat flaw. This one could have allowed attackers to, well, essentially run their own code on your phone
Oh, wow.
remotely without you even knowing it. So that's not good. So between the kernel flaws and this libexpat thing, it sounds like they're patching some pretty serious stuff.
Yeah, no question about it.
What else is in this update that makes it so critical?
Well, WebKit. That's another area that got some important fixes.
WebKit. Refresh my memory.
It's the engine that powers Safari.
Oh, okay. The browser.
Right. Apple's web browser. And it's a huge part of your online security.
Okay, WebKit, online security. Connect those dots for me.
Think of it this way. If the kernel is the foundation of your phone, then WebKit is the door, right? How you access the internet.
I see.
A flaw in WebKit, that's like leaving your door unlocked. A malicious website could potentially exploit those vulnerabilities to get in.
To take over your phone.
Exactly. Or steal your information, all kinds of bad stuff.
So it sounds like a lot of this update is about shoring up defenses.
Yeah, definitely.
Closing those security gaps, which makes sense, right? Given the urgency. But, okay, besides all the scary security fixes, is there anything in this update that's, actually fun?
Actually, yes. There is. On a lighter note, Apple has integrated ChatGPT into Siri.
Wait. ChatGPT?
ChatGPT, yeah.
The AI.
The one and only.
I can have that on my phone now.
You got it. So now you can tap into the power of ChatGPT right from your iPhone. Just ask Siri.
Okay, that's kind of cool, I gotta admit. I mean, that's definitely something people are going to be excited about.
For sure.
So it's not all doom and gloom. There are some genuinely cool features in 18.2 as well.
Right.
But so far, we've mostly focused on the security updates.
Right.
What else is in there that people should know about?
I think this whole update really shines a light on this kind of like balancing act, right?
Yeah,
that Apple's constantly facing between, giving users choice, like letting us do what we want with our phones,
Right.
but also making sure that everyone is secure.
Right.
And I think forcing everyone to update, I mean, it's a pretty bold move.
It is. It is. It's pretty strong.
But I get it,
Oh.
and look at the world we live in.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier, that this update, it has specific requirements, right?
Right.
What about people with older phones?
Yeah, that's a good point. So the article specifically says that this update, iOS 18.2, it's designed for, let me see here, iPhone XS and newer,
Okay.
and some iPads as well. So if you've got an older phone, like an iPhone 8 or something, you're not being forced to upgrade.
Right.
But for those with compatible devices, yeah, it's pretty clear.
18.2 or risk it.
Exactly.
So it's not a blanket mandate.
Right.
But for a lot of people, there really is no choice.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to stay protected, you got to update. No question.
It makes you think, right,
It does.
about the trade-offs,
Yeah.
like convenience versus security.
It's a big question in our digital age.
Yeah, for sure. One thing that struck me, and you mentioned this earlier, was how Apple's not really disclosing all the details
Mm-hmm.
about the vulnerabilities. Like, why would they be so secretive about it?
Well, I mean, think about it. If they just came out and said, hey, here's every single flaw we're fixing, that would basically be giving hackers a roadmap, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like, here's how to exploit these flaws
Exactly.
until we patch them.
Exactly.
Right.
So by keeping things under wraps, they're buying time for users to update before the bad guys figure out how to take advantage.
Okay, so it's like a strategic move.
Yeah, definitely strategic.
Makes sense. So, we talked about the ChatGPT thing earlier.
Right.
Super cool. What other features are packed in here? We've talked a lot about the security stuff.
Well, there's a lot more than just security fixes in this update.
Yeah.
One thing that really caught my eye, the article mentioned something called enhanced Apple Intelligence capabilities.
Apple Intelligence.
Yeah, that's what it says.
That sounds very, like, a little ominous, a little futuristic. Like, what does that even mean?
Well, the article didn't really go into a ton of detail, but it did hint at some pretty big improvements in how our devices, how our iPhones and iPads handle information.
Yeah.
How they analyze data. So imagine, like, your phone being able to anticipate your needs even better.
Okay.
Maybe giving you more relevant search results.
Okay.
Or even just like personalizing your entire digital experience.
So, like, my phone is going to get to know me better than I know myself.
Well, maybe. Maybe not quite that far.
Okay.
But yeah, it's getting pretty close.
It's getting a little, I don't know, like,
Sci-fi.
a little sci-fi, yeah. A little unsettling,
A little bit.
but also intriguing.
Yeah, there's definitely a kind of like a wow factor to it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it does raise some interesting questions, right?
Yeah.
About where technology is heading and all that. But let's maybe not go too far down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, let's reel it back in.
Reel it back in, yeah.
So, besides those Apple Intelligence enhancements,
Right.
what else is in there that we haven't covered yet? We were talking about these Apple Intelligence things, and I don't know. It's kind of a mixed bag for me. I mean,
Yeah.
having a phone that's super smart and like knows what I need before I even know I need it
Right.
sounds amazing, right? But then there's this whole other side of it, which is like, how much is Apple actually collecting?
Exactly. Yeah.
To make that happen, and what are they doing with that information?
Well, that's the big question, right? I mean, the more our devices learn about us,
Right.
the more potential there is for that data to, be misused.
Or to be hacked.
Right, exactly. And I think, the article didn't get too deep into the specific privacy implications of all these new features.
Yeah.
But it's a conversation we need to be having.
Especially, with the ChatGPT thing.
Oh.
I mean, we're basically giving this AI, access to everything.
Our lives.
Our conversations, our requests.
Yeah. I mean, how can we be sure that all that information is being handled responsibly?
Right. It's a big question. So, as users, I mean, what can we actually do to protect our privacy? It feels like we're constantly being asked to share more and more.
Yeah, no question. Well, first of all, awareness is key.
Yeah.
Actually read those privacy
Oh,
policies.
yeah.
Even though I know they're so long and boring.
The worst.
But it's important, right? You got to know what you're agreeing to.
Yeah.
Pay attention to the permissions you're giving to apps. Be mindful of what you're sharing online. It's easy to just click agree without even thinking about it.
Oh, I do that all the time.
We all do.
Yeah.
But those choices matter.
They do, yeah. So beyond awareness, what else can we do, to be more proactive?
Well, I mean, strong passwords.
Of course. Yeah.
That's a no-brainer. Unique passwords for all your accounts.
Yeah.
Two-factor authentication, turn that on whenever you can.
Right.
It's just an extra layer of security. And of course, keep your software updated, not just on your phone, but, on everything.
It seems like it's a full-time job these days to stay safe online.
It is, it is. But, I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the convenience, the benefits we get from all this technology, it's undeniable, right?
It is. It is.
But we can't ignore the risks.
Right. Got to be smart about it.
Exactly. Being informed, taking precautions, using these tools responsibly, that's what it's all about.
Well, this whole iOS 18.2 thing, it really brings to light that tension, right?
Yeah.
Between freedom and security.
Absolutely.
Like Apple's taking this very, I don't know, like paternalistic approach almost.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's like, we know what's best for you, so you're going to do it our way.
Just trust us.
Yeah, trust us. And, it's definitely sparked some debate. I'm curious to see how this plays out, down the road.
Yeah, it would be interesting.
I mean, will we see even more of these kind of, forced updates?
Right.
Where companies are just like, nope, security is paramount. You're doing it this way.
Yeah, I mean, will users push back?
Right. I mean, is there going to be like a rebellion?
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
But, I mean, one thing's for sure is technology just keeps advancing. These conversations about security, about privacy, about control, I mean, they're only going to get more important.
Yeah. They're not going away.
No, not at all.
Well, that was your deep dive into iOS 18.2. I hope you learned something and, maybe you're feeling a little bit more aware of the challenges and the opportunities in this digital world we live in. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.